Hey, this is Nicky Jam. Listen to Monday to Monday. You're gonna love it. Nicky Jam.
I only like the process.
It's the best thing.
It's the only thing for me. Like, I'm addicted to, there's nothing else I like. I don't like stuff. I don't want stuff. I just want the legacy of the process. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
And that's why yours is so good compared to other things. Like when it's just like this,
You don't miss the process?
I'm only about the process. I always put myself in the process. Like, that's why I jumped from different businesses. Like once I won wine, I bounced because I was like, well, what am I gonna do? Just milk it for the riches? That's what most people do. They only want to do eat to get to the stuff. They're willing to put in the work for the Lamborghini or the girls or the chains, but once they get it, they're out. That's why so many people lose once they win.
And he's tight with Russian.
I know.
Yeah, so that's our
That's
guy.
my guy. I love that dude.
Yeah, that's my boy.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he
Like
is.
good people.
He is. Very smart too.
He is sharp. He's got great instincts. That's a really good way to put it. What's really interesting though is it's your time now, right? Like you were born at the right time. Like you guys are taking over the world. Like the whole like Latin, like the Latin invasion of America is forever over. It's not going backwards. It's only like this is just the beginning. People don't get it. Like the demographics, it's just math. It's over. It's over. It's really cool. It's really cool. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, and one thing I introduced Sid to some of your team, but you didn't get a chance to meet. So this is Sid right here. He does international strategy for Gary. One of the coolest things to me was when you were talking about how you went to Colombia and you were like going hard after YouTube to like get your numbers up, and like you were really like got all your followers.
See,
and
the
everything
thing is,
up.
when I went to Colombia, I saw there was 65 million people, and my career was in a downfall. So I said, if I can make this country love me, and I could be the #1 national, if I can make a national hit, #1 national hit in this country, I'll get 65 million people to back me up. And if I get 65 million people to love me, other people from other countries like, why this guy has so many views?
Yo, I gotta be straight up with you, straight up, real quick. It's my favorite thing about you, how you understand that that's a talent that will never go away from you, right? Because whether it's Colombia or Snapchat or esports or this famous person, it's just the math of attention. To have the understanding to get up, go, execute like that, oof.
Yeah, I mean,
That never will go away from you.
That's
It's the same game. It's all I ever do. It's just attention.
Exactly. And that's the thing. I had to study the country and make the country love me, not me not being from that country and not being active in the music in the moment, because Colombia was listening to reggaeton music, but they were listening to the guys that were active in the moment.
Right.
So I had to go there and make them fall in love with me, but it was easy because they were like, yo, this guy's living in our country. He loves us. You know what I'm saying? Why isn't he living in the States? Why isn't he living in Puerto Rico? And he's coming over here. And I started doing videos, 15-second videos. And I'm like, yo, I'm over here in the streets of Medellin, walking and down. I'm doing this. And I just bought my new Mazda 6. And normally rappers brag about Bentleys. And I'm happy because I have a car again. So they fell in love with my story. And it worked exactly how I wanted to. I didn't have one #1 hit. I had 6 #1 hits in Colombia, national hits, and my views were incredible. And I started jumping from Colombia for the world.
You know, it's funny. I think about hunting and farming. Now the key for you to have like a 50, 100-year career, like at this new level, because you've had a career, you need to be very thoughtful of forever giving love to that country. Like
always.
Everything you guys, right?
Always.
Like the #1 thing for you to be able to win in Asia, on Mars, on a new platform, you need to be real thoughtful about how you continue to give love there forever.
Yeah.
You have to have, you know what you should do? You should make the day you put your first video up in Colombia like a holiday within your world and your mind and with your fan, and like literally always do something special on that day. You should go back, look at the first day you posted something on YouTube in Colombia, if that's what you give credit for when you first started. Look at that date, and you should throw a free concert every year on that date for life.
That's awesome. That's really awesome.
And the other thing is like what he was saying about how humble he was in Colombia, and like what Gary loves is the lyrics and the story. And I know that you were saying in Puerto Rico it was more about really. Beats and this and that.
No, really, I don't understand. Like, I don't understand like beats and producers like that well. I really don't. Like, I get it. Like, if the music, like, I get it, but I know that I'm not thoughtful about that. But the story, that's
everything.
For me, it's everything.
That's everything.
Like, for me, that's for me. Like, I think everybody has their own thing. For me, and then the story of the person. That's why usually I love people's first albums. Because that's their origin story. That's their first issue of the comic book, right? That's when they're telling people like, this is what happened and this is what happened. I think it takes a lot for somebody to have that second or third. Like, it's the person that knows how to storytell of what they're going through. Because the first one, that's your truth. It's kind of how my keynotes work on YouTube, my business talks. Like, it used to be easy because I just tell you I was born in Russia and lived in a studio apartment with this many family members. This is like how I grew up. Like, you know, but then it got harder because that was established. And now you got to come back with some hits.
Yeah, he started his keynotes the same way you started your album, like telling the story, like, you know, like telling everything. It's like, how?
So now what? Because it's white hot right now. You guys must all be like, okay, we need to be like.
Well, you know, my mentality is, first of all, in my music, in the genre of music or reggaeton, it was kind of hard, you know, to work and do big things because they didn't, you know, they saw us as street singers, you know what I'm saying? So normally, like, you'll see Ricky Martin or Luis Fonsi or any, it will be easier for them to, you know, work with brands and sponsorship and all stuff like that. So I'm breaking those boundaries, you know what I'm saying? I'm pushing it, and I'm being the first. You know, I just signed with Hublot. I just signed with I'm doing the Netflix thing. I'm doing I got something big working with Will Smith. I'm doing the movies. I did the movie with Vin Diesel. I'm doing things for my music, and I want to be, like, you could say, the Jennifer Lopez of my music. You know what I'm saying? I want, because I'm bilingual. I'm good acting, and that's what I'm trying to do. That's
Listen,
what,
that J-Lo money is interesting money.
It is. It is.
But you know what's amazing about her and amazing about, like, because I've been really digging into the last couple months, work. I just wish J-Lo. I get so mad at culture, like. When I hear J-Lo's name, literally the first thing I think of is a working gangster.
She is.
She hustles. She works. And like when everybody talks about her, like they talk about her being a celebrity or like whatever, and I'm like, like she's working. Like J-Lo's out working 99.9999% of people. Will Smith is working. The reason you got something brewing with Will Smith is Will Smith's smart. He realized the game he was playing for the last 2 decades was time was up. You can't make the same movie 15 times in a row and get paid $20 million.
Exactly.
This is the game. He looked around. It felt authentic. You got plenty of attention in the game. You're fucking pumped because he's a fucking icon. 1 + 1 = 2. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's
Listen to me. That I'm telling you right now because I can tell that you know everything. So I don't have that much to give. That first day you made a piece of content, throw that free concert. Your only kryptonite right now is if you forget about Colombia.
Oh yeah, no, I would never.
I'm being dead serious though.
I say it in the songs everywhere.
You're so natural to grow. You know, like you're like me. Like your natural move is to grow. You're gonna win Asia. You're gonna do the same. You're gonna rep. You know, you're gonna run this same racket over and over, right? Like you're gonna win China the same way. You're gonna win some new platform the same way. This is over. Now that you've tasted it, like it's over. You're just gonna rinse and repeat. And the only vulnerability is if it feels manipulated.
It is true. No, but you know,
right? Even the way you talk about, you know what's funny? I wouldn't have given you the advice. You're like me, you're transparent. There's a lot of people who did what you did that would never say, I decided to go to Colombia for that reason. 65 million, if I could make them love me. It worked exactly, like you have to understand, if you're on the other side in Colombia, humans are cynical. They're like, oh, you just got it? So you need to go hard the other way.
No, of course. I mean, you know, Colombians come to the States to, you know, to look for their dream. I went to Colombia to get my dream.
Yeah. Just need to go back.
They looking for the American dream, and I was looking for the Colombian dream for the world. You know what I'm saying?
And by the way, your model's right. Sid, what do I keep saying about a country in South America? What's my new thing? Where do I want to be famous? Brazil. Nope. Peru. Yes, like this. You want to be famous. I want to be famous everywhere, but the reason I keep saying Peru, and I have no idea how many people live there. It's not a joke. It's more of a religion, which is what you did is one of the first examples of like, this works for everybody, man. Like, this is the right model. Like, if you're a creator right now out there for music or videos, taking a step back, especially if you're young and you can live anywhere, and if you're willing to live humbly, taking a step back and looking at different places around the world, because YouTube and Facebook and these platforms work everywhere. Saudi Arabia, now with Snapchat and with this new prince, like, every day I wish I was like 24 and had no responsibilities and no family. I'd pick my ass up and go to Saudi Arabia right now and fucking kill it.
That's nice.
That's what you did?
I mean, that's what I felt when I went to Colombia. Exactly.
You had even a bigger advantage because you already had an up and a down, so you had a chip.
Exactly.
Even better than being a young kid. You had experience and a chip.
I lost my ego. No
correct.
ego.
Once you triple down on humility and still have ego and hunger.
Exactly.
As long as humility is just 0.1 bigger than ego, it's game over. That's what Will has. All that Will Smith has just done is he let his humility go a little bit further than his ego. That's why he was willing to vlog and be on MySpace, on Instagram. I'm old, guys. I'm old.
Come on, Tom.
I'm old. You know, the fact that he had the humility to go on there, most A-list stars don't want to go to Instagram and YouTube because they have to start at zero, and then there's other people out there like you and that have more followers. They don't have the humility. Humility is the key right now for the next game.
I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Obviously, you told me that you get bored and you want to do new things and new things, but have you out of all the success you already have, you never just like, I'm tired? Like you never feel tired?
Not yet.
Not
and
yet.
I say yet, right? Like, who knows?
You never feel bored?
Never bored. Never bored. I'm too.
What takes the bored away is doing something new.
I'm always doing. Yeah. If I get, like, I'm pretty disciplined, which is why I can build big companies, and they'll tell you, I'll just make up new that isn't big. Like, I'm building a Twitch studio right outside my office. That's me being bored, right? Just need a little action, a little hit of something new, but I keep 89, 92%. Got it? And it's side dishes. My steak and my chicken, it's proper. But sometimes I need some cauliflower or something new, right? Side dishes keep me going. Plus, I'm just great. Honestly, I'm grateful. Like, to me, I'm just grateful, which never gets me down or negative or bored or just grateful. I'm just hungry, you know?
You love yourself.
I love myself. I love myself. That's a really good way to put it. And for most people, that's a difficult thing to say because the world doesn't accept that super well, but that's the answer for everybody in this room and everybody behind that camera. My biggest thing, if you look at my content, I'm trying to get people to love themselves. The way you love yourself is you become 100% accountability for your shortcomings, because everybody in here has done.
Of course.
Every one of us has got shortcomings. So first you get there, but yeah, man, I do love myself because my mom made me that way, and no voice has been able to penetrate me to tell me the alternative.
Incredible. You know, I believe in that a lot, about loving yourself. I mean, and it was hard for me because I came from, my mom, she left me when I was 8 years old. She was a drug addict and a prostitute. My dad was a drug addict himself. And it's kind of hard for you to love yourself when you come from that situation.
It's very hard.
But I was trying to blame the world when I was in drugs and I was in all messed up, and blame my parents. And when I started to love myself, everything changed for me.
How'd you get there?
I mean, I was tired of looking at myself and blaming people and saying my life was a piece of shit and nothing was happening for me. So one day I said, okay, first I was fat. I was like really fat. I was weighing almost 300 pounds. I was taking so much perks a day, and the perks, it's not like other drugs that will make you not eat. The perks will make you eat more than a lot. So I was like the worst drug addict because I was a fat drug addict. You don't imagine, but
and you're fat.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, at least take the weight off me. You know what I'm saying? So I was a fat drug addict, and I was tired of that. And I realized that when I started losing weight, the attitude of the people when they started seeing me was different. It was a different vibe. It was like, hey, Nicky, hey, what's good? Hey, want to go eat something? They didn't say that when I was fat and all messed up in drugs. They wanted to take me out because they felt I looked good. So I said, okay, this is the beginning.
How did that even start? Like, what's this? What did you see, or what? Like, I'm always fascinated by that, the tipping point.
Okay, what did I see for the weight thing?
Mm-hmm.
I think. Well, first of all, I was at a Denny's actually eating, and a fat girl came to me and said what happened to me, and it pissed me off. And I said, the same shit happened to you. You fat. What do you mean? I was eating and I got fat.
You knew her.
No, she knew me because I was in the music, you know what I'm saying? And you gotta understand, I was so skinny when I was famous in Puerto Rico the first time. So when I got fat, I was deformed. You could say like, this guy's not the same guy. So obviously it's okay for a fat girl to tell me.
She rolled up on you and was like, what happened?
What happened? You know what I'm saying? But it was like, you know, and it felt bad. it felt kind of bad, you know, and I was like, and then I said to myself, what happened? You know what I'm saying? And then I said, okay.
Chipping away.
So I said, I'm gonna start with the weight thing. And then when I started eating like the cleanest thing in every menu.
Honestly, like it's funny. It doesn't, you know, that was your story. My big thing is like bald short dudes and like overweight people. Like you've got to figure out how to like not make anything else the way you justify your hat. Like it's got to be an inside game.
Exactly.
Like listen, being healthy is just a good idea to live longer, but it's crazy to me. Being secure and being insecure, it comes in every shape and size. It's wild. I'm just thinking about some friends who are both overweight, underweight, rich, poor, you know, tall, short, athletic, not, like, it, you know, and you go through that in life. Like, I remember somewhere in high school and then early college when I was like, wait a minute, pretty people are insecure too?
Of course, they're the most.
And it just runs the gamut.
They're the most.
I'm just desperate to get people to stop judging themselves.
That's what you see a lot, you know what I'm saying? And
I
it's
see it a
crazy.
lot, man.
And I mean, the musicians are the worst. Like you could see them they could be number one right now on the Billboard and depressed, you know. And just,
honestly, with the whole team here, is there anything I can help with? Is there anything we can help with? Like from anybody's perspective, your perspective, or anybody on the team that might have one?
I mean, there's a lot of things.
Throw them.
One of the things
my natural, like just so you know me a little bit, my natural default is I love to give first. Because I'm perfect for giving. I don't expect shit in return. And I know it also works in the end. And if it works 2 out of 11, like he'll tell you, 10 years we're into this journey now.
Yeah, and I was telling him a little background. You know, he's in Miami, so there's that.
Yeah, I'm there a lot.
Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I mean.
You know, one thing really important for me right now, like I was saying, I'm trying to be like the first from my genre of music to work with these work with these brands, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, I've been working with already like in Latin America, but I would love to be the Latin face of you know what I'm saying, in the world, in the US and sometimes you know it's kind of hard being a reggaeton artist, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, if you guys can help me with anything of that, it would be awesome.
But the interesting thing though is that your music is great and your music isn't like offensive. So
it's not at all.
It shouldn't be hard.
But sometimes they go by the image.
Honestly,
it's been an image thing in the past because our branding team has always been pitching it since day one. It's the background. It's because of, you know, some of the.
Let me ask you. I get it.
You see a lot of
brother,
people with more questionable past.
Oh yeah,
brother.
That's what has been the reason.
We know what it is. We all know what it is. Let's go a different route. I think you're making a mistake. Let me explain. You're not. First of all, you're making the least mistakes, but it's funny. In some places, you're going real new wave, and other places, you're looking at it traditional. I don't think you should do because he's not going to do anything for you except be a short-term check. And I get it. Like, I grew up with Michael Jackson, and we all know where he sits. I get it. Let me throw a different one at you. I think you should be thinking about getting equity in a startup beverage like Dirty Lemon, who's smart enough to know that you're exactly what they need. You get a point of the company on the back end. They market you properly, not on dumb billboards, cheesed out, vanillaed out, right? And you win twice. To me, you know what you and I have? Guys and girls.
Because their mentality is that we don't need you. You're already an organic.
You know what's funny? It's not even that they think that they need you or they don't need you. They don't know how valuable you are, right? And then it's just like, what? And more importantly, I think we all have to start debating how valuable they are.
Yeah, makes sense.
Like, what's good about you get paid and you get national exposure. You can get national exposure now. Your fucking YouTube videos are seen by a hell of a lot more than every fucking commercial that runs this year globally combined. Let's just take a second. I want everybody here to take a second and listen to me real carefully. Your video that you posted 2 weeks ago is consumed more. Consumed, not aired. There's a lot of commercials being aired. Nobody's watching them. I just think you need to get your value worth. I think you need to start thinking about like how much leverage you have. For you to be the next J-Lo within this, you can't do the same blueprint that J-Lo did.
I gotta go my route.
You gotta play a 2018 to 2023 route. You need to be worried about kids that are playing on Twitch and getting your music into their channels. You need to be thinking about startup brands that are going direct to consumer, that are targeting the Latin American consumer. You need to be doing you. You need to reverse it. They need you. And their check is getting less and less interesting, thank God, right?
True that.
Making a couple dollars. And more importantly, the more you realize how much or how little you actually need. The reason I'm dangerous is I don't need to make a lot of money every year, which means I'm putting the energy into the bank, giving myself long-term leverage.
So you got the number of the lemon company you saying so I could call them?
Yeah, I do, but we need we'll be happy to help. You need to look at all of it. There may be a very authentic, first of all, you start with authenticity. Like if you drink an orange soda, like we need to look at Fanta's US strategy first. You want to talk about a brand that could really get popping because of you and needs to? Like Fanta should team up with you and 3-4 others. They could be off to the races. Like Fanta is the most interesting soda brand to me because it's actually culturally relevant outside the US. They want to do more business in the US, but they don't have the right faces. So I think you have the options. I think you have the leverage now. It's all so new. It happened so fast this second time around. You have to be thoughtful about it, but I'd go backwards. I would literally with the team sit down and think about everything you actually like and just know that you could actually jam with them because then it's gonna be a better relationship anyway because it's not a check, it's authentic.
Exactly.
And whether that's a Kleenex or a sneaker or what have you.
Anything.
And if it's neutral, like if you don't give a then I would go to something new, not old. Like you better really, like for me, if I started from the beginning, you need to love Hublot, like love it. If not, I take a step back. I mean, listen, there's more ears on your music right now than Jay-Z's music when he dropped that song. It's real, it's hard to comprehend because it all changed. And so when you deploy humility like you're deploying, it's sometimes hard to wrap your head around.
That's true.
But like you can build the next Hublot with one mention. You could. Now, you can't do that for every category. You got to be thoughtful. Sometimes it's good to take the check. Sometimes it's good to have the back end. Sometimes it's good to floss. I get it. But you need to be really thoughtful about your brand strategy. And it needs to be forward thinking, not what has happened.
Yeah. And if you own a part of a
Sid,
company like that, you'll be like looked at as the business guy, you know? You'll be like, wow, he's so smart. Like Nicky Jam, the businessman, like taking part of this company, blowing it up, that jacket, whatever. Like even that is valuable.
This has been huge for me. He's here. This has been huge for me. Like, right? K-Swiss hadn't been hot for 20 years. Ice-T's a long time ago. K-Swiss. I did a collaboration.
You did a collaboration with K-Swiss?
That's a sneaker.
Yeah, this was the first one, right? And this was a limited edition thing I just did.
I love K-Swiss. That's classic. Always look good.
And that's what you need to be thinking about. If I'm you, I think you think you're having your second act. I think you're looking at Hublot and fucking, whether it's Supreme or fucking Pepsi as like the thing that's anointing you. I'd reverse it. I would think about your life your whole life and think about what you fuck with. Or if you're neutral, look what I did. I was neutral, but I didn't want to do Nike and this other stuff. I went to K-Swiss because I'm getting the juice for bringing it back. If you bring back Nautica, you win.
Yeah. Champion.
Got it? Well, that's already been back,
all
right?
That stuff, yeah.
But if you were the reason Champion came back, your career would be different for the rest of your life. Not just riding Supreme or Off-White. Got it?
Yeah,
You've got too much juice right now. I would, back to me, just throwing out some ideas, I'd go really look at some brand in Colombia and bring it to America. If you build a brand here in America around something in Colombia that makes jobs for everybody, now you're starting to get into
Kind of like when we were with the Chinese brand.
100%. Or like Under Armour did for the Baltimore area. They haven't left, they rejuvenated that area with jobs.
The thing is about these brands having respect for the Spanish music, because for some reason, I'm gonna give you an example, and no disrespect, this is what I think. I mean, I was trying to work something with Adidas, and
2 minutes.
okay.
I was talking to my guy,
Oh,
not
sorry.
you.
I'm like, shit. I gotta go fast. And I'm good freestyling, but goddamn.
Dude, I know what you, my man, let me save you time. I know what's gonna come out of your mouth. Listen to me. You're much more valuable than they understand because they're not as hip to the streets as you think. Adidas is a corporation.
They will give first a deal to Pusha T that has 1 million followers than me that have 22 million.
Brother, we see it every day. When I told K-Swiss who we should with, the list they gave me in hip hop, I laughed. I'm like, you're just thinking big companies look backwards.
Okay.
You're asking people who don't have a pulse.
So it's not a language barrier. It's not.
Definitely not, because they've picked other people. And honestly, to be very honest with you, you already went through this path. You stopped making excuses. If I'm you, you know how lucky corporate America is that I'm not a rapper? The song I would have put out right now about Adidas. Adidas. Adidas is hot right now for another few minutes. They have a moment. Adidas. But the truth is always the thing to sing on. You know what I mean? I think it's gang. I mean, I think the number one thing I would do is with the establishment. Like Adidas and Supreme would be at the top of my list of things I'd go after, not with.
Okay.
Especially if I had a reason. I wouldn't just do it. But if you have a reason, and you could do some silly stuff, you don't have to be you could do it your way, but I'd have something for 3 stripes. I'd make some sort of, I'll make my 4th stripe, you know what I mean? You see where I'm going?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Or do you, Colombia's 3, yeah, I would, this is just being creative, I would be 3 stripes didn't want to fuck with me, the only 3 stripes I fuck with are the colors of, then you list off the colors of Colombia. That's me, that just fucking sums up exactly what I would do. If you listen to everything I talked about for the last 30 minutes.
I'm recording everything.
But see where I'm going? You do that. If you diss Adidas for not fucking with you heavy, and you gave love to Colombia all in one line, explode. And then, God forbid, sales of Adidas declined by 4% in Colombia after that dropped. Now you're showing your power.
And all the Colombian American people.
Listen, you've been through this game. You've taken a macro no, you got a macro f you, and that's why you rose like a phoenix. Take every micro no you have right now and let that feed you. You're looking for one last validation that the top 50 are playing at. That top 50 doesn't mean it's over. And I don't give a fuck about getting co-signed by the top 100. I'm the new top 100. It's just a matter of time.
And he's doing cool organic shit. I know we gotta go, but he's doing a song with Vin Diesel, and that's because they're actually friends. You know what I mean?
It.
Like real shit.
Yeah, listen, I did my homework.
So...
You've won the second you drop giving a fuck about this last 1%, right? Pepsi, Adidas, those celebrities, that network is the second you take that next step, that dangerous step.
I'm going there. Thank you so much. You have a good day.
You too, my guy.